All right, here we go. What is going on, people? It is after midnight now. I just got home from another 16-hour shift because my entire staff needs off for holidays. So I'm stuck doing it. Hence my little outfit. Yeah. So I wanted to kind of take a look at 2024. Oh, it's raining like a motherfucker outside too, so I'm soaked. I wanted to kind of take a look back as to all the shit that happened last year. And thank you guys for sticking around since 2021, especially 2021. That was a rough year. To where we are now. The year didn't start off very well. I tore my ACL last February, which was horrifying. While we were filming a scene for Darby Scream House, which is a segment in a Donald Farmer movie that I wrote and produced and acted in, and it was my acting in it that got my ACL torn. I tried to do like the Dirk Diggler like kick thing, and it did not end well. So we went from that to I'd say the October before that, I wasn't feeling particularly well. I like energy was down and just I had random pains and stuff like that. So I started going to the doctor. And I didn't have insurance at the time, so that was fun. And they didn't quite know what was going on. And then last March, it got to the point where they thought I had prostate cancer, which was fucking terrifying because I already had cancer once and I lost someone that I loved to cancer. So they went in and it turned out that my prostate and urethra needed to have surgery. They went in the first time because they couldn't get a catheter up into my urethra. There was so much scar tissue built up, and it was enlarging my prostate and causing all these other problems, and it was awful. It was disgusting. So I had to have surgery on that, getting all the scar tissue out, then going in to do the prostate as well. Those were fucking painful, but I'm feeling much, much better now. Getting rid of all the bloat that I had for years from, my stomach being distended from these problems I didn't know I had. So I'm down like 15, 20 pounds now, which I'm pretty happy about. So yeah, so we had those two things. I started a new job, obviously. I moved. I'm now running a 100-year-old movie theater. And then I'd say around last April, I was doing just a random Saturday night stream. I got home from work. I didn't know what to do. I was bored. And it turns out that someone who was watching the stream, they started engaging, and it was talking about making a movie. And I was super down on myself because, I've had so many false starts when it comes to getting this stuff done. And I had this guy reached out to me, and he's like, "Do you want to make a movie? I'll produce it for you." And I didn't know what to expect at first because, given my track record, it would wind up being some fuck from Reddit, and so that's connected to the Cinemassacre shit, and it make me look like a dick. I don't need help doing that. I already look like a dick. But yeah, so he was legit, and he's like, "What do you want to make?" So I wrote an original screenplay that was called Ghouls, Ghouls, Ghouls. And it was about the great-great-granddaughter of the Frankenstein monster creating like an OnlyFans type thing of sexy monsters in order to save the castle. And it was this very like Showtime, Cinemax, 90s, titty comedy horror movie. So we found, and I started putting that one together, and the location that we wanted was no bueno. So I took another script that I wrote back in 2017 for this guy, Michael Ingram. I wrote Satan's Slumber Party for him, and it never got made. And he's like, "Well, write me out something small." So I wrote what was called Floaters originally, and I changed the title to Amityville Pool Toy Massacre. So I sent it to the guy, and I was like, "What do you think about this?" He's like, "Yeah, if you could do it for this amount of money, let's go." So I start putting things together. And last April, probably, we had a premiere of Amityville Vista Galactic Samurai Schoolgirls, which I wrote and produced with Red Cup Films, starring Fallon and Will Keenan, who from Trauma. And nobody else was talking. We were up in front of the audience at the Theater N in Delaware, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna be the center of attention." So I just started talking and being myself, and a guy in the audience, Mark, and his wife Jess, they saw me and they thought that I was pretty interesting. So I put out on Facebook that, hey, I'm looking for a swimming pool, a house with an indoor pool for this movie. And Mark and Jess with Tremungus Films, they were like, well, we want to get involved with filmmaking. Can we partner up with you? We have this house, you know, yada, yada. And I was like, oh yeah, fuck man. So I went out and I met them, because I never really met them outside of just exchanging pleasantries at the theater and event. And they wound up getting like the full gamut of the Newt story and all that kind of stuff. And I think I sold them pretty well on what my vision for all this was. And by July, we were shooting. I brought Katie and Madeline out from St. Louis, who I had worked on Triple Xmas with for James Dean. I was able to get my first ever girlfriend, Amber, to come and be in the movie. Another ex-girlfriend of mine was in the movie. You know, Metz came to help us. Melissa came to help us. Like, people you've met on the channel. What are you doing, Elvira? Fucking weirdo. I was able to collect all of these people from my past who I was friends with, who I've been saying, oh, we're going to make a movie. We'd done like a bunch of shorts and stuff like that. But now we're shooting a movie, and we shot 30 pages in 3 days, and it was a fucking nightmare. It was an absolute nightmare. One day I'll tell all those stories. So we shot the body of the movie in those 3 days. Fantastic gear, fantastic location, fantastic crew. And then I got pinged by Diana Prince, Darcy the mail girl from Joe Bob Briggs, and she was like, well, I'm looking to do something in August. What do you got? And I said, well, I have this movie that I'm working on, Amityville Pool Toy Massacre. I got this scene in the beginning. I can bring you out for that. So she agreed. I brought her out from LA, and we had her for 2 days, and we knocked out the whole opening scene of the movie with her. We had a fucking tropical storm the one night, so we had to switch everything around and shoot all of her pool scenes on another night, but it wound up pouring that night too. So I brought my friend SJ, who did a documentary before, to come out and just hold the umbrella over the camera for us. There's a lot of like underwater shoots and special effects and puppets and all this kind of shit. So you know, we shot a bunch in July, we shot a bunch in August, shot a bunch in September. We had to bring Zoe back to finish her death scene because we couldn't get it the weekend that we had Darcy there. So we brought her back in September, and she's naked and she has to get sprayed with blood outside, and it's cold in September. We came back in October. We shot the green screen for the giant monster, the kaiju, in November. And we got one more scene done in December, and now we've got one scene left to shoot. The editing has already started, but yeah, so we've got one scene left to shoot, and then we're wrapped. And I'll have a feature film shot out, and it's already, you know, the edit's already started, and there's puppets and giant monsters and ex-porn stars and all kinds of fun shit. So we got that done. At the same time, Shark Exorcist 2, which I was a producer on and shot a part of, played in Japan. It did fucking gangbusters in Japan. It played on a bunch of screens there, so that was super cool. Guy who runs that festival was like, if you could put white girl boobies and sharks in this, I'll take your movie and put it out there. So we now have an in to get Amityville Pool Toy Massacre into theaters in Japan. Bigfoot Exorcist came out. Cold of Blood came out. What else came out? There was another movie I did came out. There was 3 movies that I wrote, all came out this year. I got hired in winter last year to rewrite a movie called Scissors with Eric Roberts. I still haven't seen the final cut of it. I don't know how much of what I wrote ended up in the movie, but I got paid, and that was really fucking cool. The 6th issue of Florida Man Saves Christmas is now inked and lettered. It just has to be colored. I know that I've been talking about it since 2021. It takes a lot of time to do this stuff when you don't have money and you're relying on other producers to come help you and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we all that shit is together. I moved to a bigger apartment. My car got stolen right before I had to move here. I did, if you go back on the channel, I did the Venom review, Venom 3. I drove home that night. I was exhausted after working and doing the review. Went to bed, come out the next morning, my car is gone. 12 cars on my block were vandalized, stolen, broken into, whatever. So I was basically Ubering an hour back and forth until I moved here. Now I literally walk to work. And And then Geico took forever because there was Thanksgiving, then there was Christmas, because they didn't have the police report because Philadelphia is a nightmare. So I finally have everything together. So I have the check. I deposited the check. I just haven't had any time to go look for a fucking car because I'm here every day. Yeah, man, it's been a wild fucking year. But we started getting the studio space together for the next movie. And then the producer who helped me get Amityville Pool Toy Massacre together, he wants to do a movie called Thundercock Jones, which is like Remo Williams meets Boogie Nights kind of thing. So I've been writing that for him. It's about this former, like, you know, special agent, kind of Indiana Jones, James Bond type of guy who was, you know, disgraced out of the Secret Service, and now he's a porn star, but he gets called back into that life of secret agentry because somebody he used to work with is committing terroristic attacks by bimbofication Ray, turning strong independent women into bimbos, and this guy has to lead a team of sexy special agent ladies, kind of like an Andy Sidaris movie, like you know, Hard Ticket to Hawaii or whatever. So yeah, I'm working on that for him right now. Infestoids is next, where you saw some of the sci-fi sets that we had for that. You know, that's going to be next, and then we're going to do Vampire after that. We're going to take Amityville Pool Toy Massacre on the road. Got a couple cons lined up for the spring and the summer. Got the comic book coming out. We got Strange Toys, River Beauty, Darby Screamhouse, Wicked Witch, and one other one that I wrote parts of are all coming out next year through Culture Shock releasing or Wild Eye releasing. So there's a whole bunch of shit that I was part of. MVD releasing put out their special edition of coin slots or joysticks, and they used my coin slots trailer, my fake trailer that I made, that we shot at TNT Amusements, the arcade. That's on that disc, and people really liked it. It's gotten good reviews. And then this summer it played at the drive-in on the big screen, so it was really fucking cool to see my trailer up on the big screen. So there was a lot going on last year, and I know I've been talking about, this coming since 2021, but I finally feel like things are moving in the right direction. The channel's suffered a lot. I think we've hit our ceiling as to where we can go right now until I can get into a studio and get into editing and all that kind of stuff. It was cool to have Amber come out and do a bunch of episodes with me. You're gonna see Jeanette coming up. You're gonna see SJ coming up. You know, there's some cool friends of mine that I've been waiting to get on the channel. Mets will be back. You know, we got to start streaming again. But again, I'm very excited. It's the first time I've been optimistic about the future since 2020. You know, when I left 2020, I was like, oh shit, I got hired by this media company, and my life's looking up. And then that was 2019. 2020 New Year's Eve was pretty good, but yeah, everything from that point on has been bad, you know, and just keeping it together, and I'm broke half the time, and I'm just keeping the lights on, and I'm putting money into these projects that I probably shouldn't be putting money into, but it's all building to something. And I feel that we're in the position now with some secrets that I can't talk about yet. There's some people behind the scenes they're very spiteful for people who I used to work with, and they are hell-bent on making sure that you know, people who move the goalposts on me all the time on what I've accomplished and not accomplished can't say shit. And that's the most exciting part, because once that's in my rear view, once I have that off my back, that I constantly have to sing for my supper to people, I feel like it's going to open shit up to a whole new level for myself and for all of the people who've stuck with me throughout this time. And I can't thank you guys enough for sticking around, for your comments, for your, you know, joining the Discord, all that kind of stuff. I know that we're not giving you the prime shit, but like it's all building. And you know, health wise, like I said, my knee is still jacked up. I try to ride the bike as much as I can to strengthen it. Back in October, it was healing up, and then I fell on it off a ladder at work, and I was fucking horrible. I was trying not to scream because there was a movie running, so I was just crawling up the lobby until someone came to find me. But yeah, so my knee's kind of messed up, but the prostate and the urethra issue are pretty much taken care of right now. Mental health wise, I'm feeling much better. I'm in with a new therapist. I'm down 10 to 15 pounds. Starting to be social with people again. Well, it's been harder when I haven't had a car, but people have come to see me and hang out with me and stuff like that. But no, I'm very lucky, and we've done some cool shit this year. And and I know it just seems like I'm constantly going like, look at me, like waving my arms like a child, like pick me, like me. But I feel like I'm constantly trying to overdo it to go like, look, no, we're moving forward. We're moving forward. Does that make any sense? But we are moving forward. And, I got to meet some of you guys who come out and hung out and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's cool. I got to shoot a movie this year, and, I got to have stuff I made come out, and there's 3 more movies lined up, which I never thought would be a fucking thing in my life, to have multiple movies that I can now make. And they're all low budget, tiny budgets. But like, I look at what we did with Pool Toys so far for the little budget that we had, which I'm so fucking grateful for, because if I didn't have his help, I wouldn't be able to have done anything. I put some of my own money into it to finish it, which I probably shouldn't have done. My life would be a lot easier if I didn't, but I had to get a movie done. I had to do something that I wrote, directed, produced, and acted in, something that's wholly original to me, sounds like me, looks like me. It gave me a chance to direct a feature, which I'd never done before. I've directed shorts and stuff like that, fake trailers, segments for like old web shows and stuff like that, but directing an entire feature and then scheduling a feature. And Mark and Jess are so fucking good at that stuff, and they've been helping me kind of take the slack off me a little bit when it comes to a lot of the office stuff when it comes to this, so that I can start to focus on getting my shots down and working with the actors and all this kind of stuff. And but I think we're at a point now where we're a well-oiled machine. And I think Schlock and On, Trimungus together are really going to kick some ass next year. So again, I'm super thankful to Mark and Jess for all the help that they did. Always incredibly thankful for Metz. Always incredibly thankful for Melissa. Everybody who's come out to help us and get us to this point right now, and not giving up on my fucking nonsense when I say, oh, we're going to do this thing, and then we don't do the thing. But we're getting closer to doing the thing. I feel the most confident in myself, my abilities, and my just the ability to make this stuff happen with the help of the right people. As much as the last 3 years have sucked a big old donkey dick, I feel like it's been good that certain people dropped off, because as we do move forward, now who like your real people are. Who the people who have your back are, and they're not just people who are riding you for years because they want to get put in things, or they think, well, this might work out, and then as soon as they don't need you anymore, they ditch you. So it's cool to know that everyone who's in our corner right now are people who like legitimately want to be there. And for that, I'm extremely lucky, because it's going to make things a lot easier as we move forward. And I want to reward everyone for that. I want, so 2024 was interesting. It was more positive than negative. The surgery, the knee, the car stolen, all that kind of stuff, the stress of having to move, and you're making a movie while you're also trying to pay for a new apartment and all this kind of stuff. But it's good to be back running a theater my way. It's good to be, be creative and actually see your ideas through. And that's where we are in 2025. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully I'll be standing here this time next year and have nothing but fucking positive things to talk about, and all the shit that we accomplished together, and we're building Schlock and All into something new and beautiful and powerful, and I'll be able to thank all of you guys for all of your help in not letting me quit, keeping me going. So yeah, that's Newt year, Newt me, we'll call it. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of give everybody kind of a rundown on how last year went. and kind of give you an idea of what you're going to start to see in 2025. And yeah, we'll start making some announcements pretty soon. You'll see the trailer, you'll see the poster for Amityville Pool Toy Massacre. You'll start to get release dates for some of the stuff I did for Donald Farmer. Get release date for the comic book. I think there's 2 comic books. I have that wrestling comic I wrote too. I'm not sure what they did with that one. I know it's done. I just don't know what's going on with it. I don't know if they're like kickstarting it or something. So yeah, and I did that one with Mark Polton from Haunted Pizza or Pizza Tree Comics. But yeah, man, so that's kind of where we are. I hope to have a whole bunch of stuff to show you guys pretty soon, and a whole bunch of stuff next year that we can all go like, look at this, look what we all fucking did together, you know? So that's it. That's 2024 into 2025. I'm gonna go get changed because I got to be back at work this morning. Oh, Jesus. At 8 a.m. So I'm going to go sleep. And again, thank you guys. I hope everybody's being safe on New Year's Eve, and I will talk to you all next time.